We will lose more than we win in cycling. It's really hard to keep living in the cloud of failure every time. I will try to think of 7 different scenarios of how I could have made the difference, what I could have done to win. Sometimes it's like, okay, do we look at the training that was beforehand? Could we have done something better with the equipment that would have helped? Was it something in my spirit, like the mental focus of it? Could I have fought more? And with cycling, it's not just could I have fought more the whole race, but was there moments that I could have taken it easier here and then went harder there? That's choosing when you use your energy, which makes a big difference. And I just try to really process through a few scenarios so that now I put that knowledge in the bank. So if I'm in a scenario like this again, I have a few more options, already ready that I don't have to think through, that I can just utilize to try to make the best of the next opportunity. But part of professionalism of our sport is you have to leave that where it is. There's nothing you can do about it now, and then you refocus for the next race.
Alison Jackson is a creator and pro cyclist who has represented Canada in the Olympics and won the 2023 Paris-Roubaix Femmes, the biggest one-day race in women's professional cycling. Alison knows her way around a herd of bison better than most because she grew up on a bison farm in Vermilion, a small town in rural Alberta, Canada. I was really excited to have Alison on Choose the Hard Way to learn about how she got to the point where she won Paris-Roubaix Femmes, what she had done to be able to win when she created that opportunity, and the powerful role that storytelling, humor, and dance play in her day-to-day life and her life as a professional athlete. We discuss all of that and more in this interview, and you can find links to her social handles in the show notes. Choose the Hard Way is a podcast about how doing hard things is fun. Please help more people find this podcast. To do that, just hit subscribe and rate the show 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and share this episode with someone you care about. Go to choosethehardway.com to sign up for the newsletter. And if there's someone you think would make a great guest, please send me a note at choosethehardway@gmail.com or at hardwaypod on social. You all have sent in some fantastic recommendations the past few weeks, and I look forward to hearing more.
Sport has taken me to a lot of really cool and interesting places all around the world. Even before, when I was in university and I was a triathlete and traveling to different places for competition, or the only time I've been to Africa was for university world championships cross country running, and we went to Uganda. So it was 34 hours of travel to get to Uganda. We had 2 nights there, raced, and then came back. So it was almost and then another 34 hours of travel. So it was almost more travel time than it was being in Uganda. But it's just these wild experiences that when you get to live the moments, you just got to soak it up while it's happening. So, a lot of that is due to sport. A lot of it is also just due to my personality of wanting to say yes to opportunities and seeing where it goes.
So with that particular trip, how did you prepare for that?
Well, yeah, also it's going, Uganda was also quite high elevation. I think we were racing at 1,700 meters or something like that. So then, yeah, you go from as a student in university, you don't have all the resources to either prepare for altitude or even the heat training stuff or whatever. You just kind of go and hope for the best, pace it a little conservatively, and then, yeah, hope for the best. But part of the whole thing was I was really just excited to go to a new place, have this opportunity. And a lot of times you don't know what you're going to be met with. But it was really cool. Back in my home church, there was this family that had moved to Uganda, honestly, in the city where I was going. So that's what's also something that's really cool about traveling in the world is you almost know the world is small, that you might know people in all these very random sort of places. So I knew that was really cool too.
Do you remember how you felt at the end of traveling for 32 hours to get there to run in this meet?
Oh, well, I was young back then. What was I, 24? I don't know. But actually, one of my superpowers as a human is being able to sleep anywhere at any time. So for a traveling athlete, when you have to sleep on planes or in transit or, different beds, different temperatures, different pillows or no pillows or whatever, I do really well. So for me, yeah, and I think also I thrive on like the spirit of new or the spirit of adventure. So when you get there, yeah, I can very easily switch to whatever time zones, have a great sleep for the 8 hours that I need, and then just be excited about what you can get up to during the day. So for me, that was pretty good. I think right when I got there, I was just excited to meet the other people, go for a run, see what the course was like, try to figure out a way if we could see giraffes or any other kind of African wildlife while we were there. Um, yeah, maybe when I got back to Canada after the like long travel there, and then on the back end of it, when you also don't have to have the pressure of performing for any event, then maybe there was a little bit of like a crash there. Maybe I was grumpy for about a day, and then carry on.
What was your pre-race meal?
Oh well, in Uganda, I remember actually the night before the race, the mayor of the city wants to invite us all to this like dinner party before, but we have to race like pretty early in the morning, and we're all kind of jet lagged and tired. But we go to this this like campground almost place for this like dinner, but then they're having all these performances, and it's getting late and it's dark. It's like 9 p.m. We still haven't eaten yet, and then we finally get to go to this buffet, but there's no lights, and they're just like dishing out of these like big pots, like almost like a big stone tall pot. You have no idea what's in there. So when we take out a phone, turn on the flashlight to look, and the first pot that we look at is just all these fish heads looking up at us. And so, but I'm pretty sure there was not much meat or anything there, but there was like five different types of plantains you could eat. It could be mashed plantain or a fried plantain or yeah, baked plantain. So that was the main substance of our diet there, plantains.
So, I've heard you talk on other podcasts about growing up on a farm, kind of in passing, but I'm really curious, like when you were a young person, what was a day in the life like on the farm, and what kind of farm was it? What was going down there?
Yeah, so we have a big scale like grain farm, so mostly like wheat and canola. But then yeah, we've always had bison. So a bison ranch, and I remember when our family first kind of got into it, and then it's just like very cool because they're just like wild animals. We had a lot of space. We would drive the trucks out just to try to like with our binoculars to see the animals because they're wild, or try to catch when they would have a fresh little bison baby or whatever. Yeah, but I mean, farming is my dad's work, but it's also his passion, his pastimes, whatever extra time he has to do something fun, it's going to be more farming. So yeah, for sure, my life was just steeped in yeah outdoor chores, lots of like tractor driving, even if it was like the little lawn tractor that we had from being a kid, you grow up just doing all this sort of stuff. Um, I mean, also when I was younger, we had horses and things, and that was my thing for a while. Um, but yeah, just like uh, once we started going to school, it would basically be like go to school, come back, and then do some farm chores. And then yeah, but I had a younger brother that so I have an older sister, younger brother, and my dad was really keen on my younger brother being the farmer, but I was the kid with all the energy, and I just kept being like, "Pick me, like take, let me come out." But he was just really keen on my brother being the farmer. So then I just had all this like outdoor energy that then my mom put me in all these sports, and basically I tried to do every sport that I could that was available in town, and sometimes I would have like uh, back to back practices throughout the week. Like I would have track and field right after school, and then I would go right into soccer practice. But then after, I might have a ballet class, so it was just like a full packed evening. But I loved it.
Did you love all of the sports equally?
Um, well, maybe I think whatever when I'm in something, then that's all I think about, and I want to be the best at it and give it all that I've got. But for sure, I really liked the creative the sides of sports that I did. So when I was in gymnastics for a little bit or dance, so things that have a really nice blend of that like physicality of a sport, but with yeah, a little bit more creativity in it.
Do you remember the first time you won a race?
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It must have been in like won some blue ribbons in like recess track meets. Like when you're in an elementary school, it's not a proper track meet, but yeah, run around it. We had a dirt track at our elementary school. Must have been something like that, but it's not like so memorable that I have the memory stuck in my mind.
What's the first race that you won that you remember? Is there one that sticks out?
Well, one that was really important to me was in university. So that's still like um, yeah, university. I when I had signed a running for a running scholarship at university, and but the first year I got lapped like on track the 3K indoor, and I got lapped. And but then 2 years later I won that championship race, and then I kept the title for 2 years, winning the 3,000 meter indoor. But for me, I think that's like a super memorable win because, yeah, I really was like lapped last. And then through just like a lot of training, a great coach, and sticking with it, then to, take the title later was really meaningful. I think also there was, I mean, there's a few things when I was younger. Um, like as a gymnast, uh, this is, low level sort of gymnastics as a kid, but yeah, winning the overall of all the apparatus things and then getting to like move on to provincials, but then going to provincials because I came from a small town. So I get to be the best of the best in my small world. Then I go to provincials and then I was seeing tricks and things I'd never seen before. I never even knew was possible because that the visibility of it wasn't available in my small town, and then just thinking like, oh man, if I had known this was possible, like I would be trying all these crazy tricks way earlier or whatever. But that's the kind of thing about being like a big fish in a little pond, and then going up to leveling up to the next level and realizing that actually I'm just like a small fish and there's such a bigger pond out there.
When you did that race and you got lapped in university, do you remember how that felt?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a mix of like embarrassment, and because I think going into that race, like I had got this scholarship because I'd won a race, a cross country race, and so then the university was chatting with me, and I signed on. But then yeah, going to this Canada West Championship and then being lapped and just thinking like, whoa, like I again, I thought I was good, and but the other girls that are there are just that much better. So yeah, a bit of embarrassment, or also thinking that like, I mean, I want to win so bad, but also like the university had taken what they thought was a winner and then missing the mark totally. But I mean, you take a little bit of those feelings during the race and just be like, whoa, okay, there's a lot of room to improve, and then just like sticking to it or like being so determined that, um, yeah, I wanted to win that race.
And I know you've told the Paris-Roubaix story a million times at this point. What I'm curious about is how many times had you been in a similar scenario at the end of a race and it actually didn't work out? Had you ever been in
Mm.
an analogous situation? Because when I was watching the race with my kids who were screaming, my daughter was going crazy and I was really excited. And I turned to them and I said, because you kept turning to the group and yelling at them to pull through. And I was like, this isn't going to work because she's having to spend energy yelling at the group. They're going to get caught. And then, of course, you did it, which was incredible. But how many times had you been in that situation and it simply didn't work out?
I mean, there are way more accounts like that than me coming through with a win. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I know I'm a pretty good sprinter, but when you come with a group to to a sprint to the line, it's all about timing, and so many more things can go wrong than can go right, and it's so hard to be that the one person that wins. Out of all the 200 people to start, there's only just going to be one winner. And yeah, I've had so many moments where then it becomes like a sleepless night after, just like going through all the different ways that I could have, what could I have done different to make that win happen. And you can do the right things all day long and then lose it in just like the last 100 meters. And I mean, I even had it at nationals the year before. I mean, I had come into nationals, I had a terrible week of like sickness and just being in bed all week. But nationals were in my home area in Alberta, and so I show up for the road race, and still, like, one of my life philosophies is do well with what I have right now. And even if it wasn't full health, there's still like got strength on the legs. Like, let's see what we can do. And yeah, coming into the sprint and just like maybe not backing myself so well and being out of the wheels a little bit, but then starting my sprint and just like passing so many people, and then it became so close to the line that I basically, if I just like held on to a different wheel or whatever, I would have, that would have been the win. Um, and but then coming second, there's no glory with that. When you're first, you get the jersey. You got to wear it all year round. You're recognized that whole year as national champion, but missing out on that. There's been yeah, other times, like Tour of Scotland, they had it one year. We did this race, and I had won the first stage, and then had we had the second stage to go, and it was pretty hard with this like kind of climb, but I made it with the front group, and all I had to do really was like, I mean, I didn't even have to win, just be first or second even, and then I would have had the whole thing. But in that sprint, just like who I thought, following the wheel that I thought would go, and they didn't go, got trapped a little bit behind, came in fourth, but the yeah, girl who was second on GC won the race, so she got the bonus seconds and then took the whole thing. And it's just like, oh, like, you can say all you want that like you were the strongest rider there, but in the end you have to put it all together with the timing, um, and the strength and whatever. So yeah, there's been so many more moments, just like sleepless nights for that. So that's why, like, when I crossing the line with Paris-Roubaix and knowing that it was mine, like, I would say the whole time I believed I could do it, but it's still, you never know until you actually cross that line, or did I go too early? Did I do too much work? And that was like the gamble that I was going with, is that I just wanted us to stay away so bad to have the shot at, sprinting from a small group rather than the bigger group. But then for it all to come together for me in that moment to actually be the first person to cross the line, then yeah, it when you recognize how many times you've just missed out, there's way more of those for me than there has been coming through with the win.
Yeah, and I don't have to tell you, but I will, that was one of the most exciting conclusions to a bike race I've ever watched in my entire life. And it was just a thrill just to get to see that happen. It was incredible. When you think about back on those other losses that you had, though, that kind of set the stage for, or maybe they didn't set the stage, because sometimes there isn't actually a lot of logic behind losses. It's just like, whatever, there's a split second decision, something happens. Maybe you could have had control over having a different outcome. Maybe you couldn't have. As you mentioned, you've had sleepless nights sometimes in situations like that. How do you process a loss? And do you have any kind of framework that you use to try to learn from those things and carry them forward? Or what do you do?
Yeah, I think when you have a loss, I always have to take the time to actually like soak in the shitty feeling. And because when it means so much to you, it and you don't get so many opportunities to really be like at that the moment with the crux where you could take a win. So yeah, it is a loss. So to just really feel that, recognize that also, like, that's a part of your sport journey and stuff. But then really like looking back and being able to congratulate yourself on things that you did well, because I mean, a lot of times, sometimes I come away from races where I almost made it, but I just have this feeling that like I'm a boss because there was moments where I just like did the right thing and it was great. So you really got to take those so you keep like pumping yourself up for next races, because I mean we will lose more than we win in cycling. So you really got to take up these pump up moments when you can get it. Otherwise, it's really hard to keep living in the cloud of failure every time. So, but then I really take, I will try to think of 7 different scenarios of how I could have made the difference, what I could have done to win. Sometimes it's like, okay, do we look at the training that was beforehand? Was there something, could we have done something better with the equipment that would have helped? It something in my spirit, like, the mental focus of it? Could I have fought more? Could have, and with cycling, it's not just could I have fought more the whole race, but was there moments that I could have taken it easier here and then went harder there? That's kind of like, choosing when you use your energy, which makes a big difference. And um, so yeah, then I just try to really process through a few scenarios so that I can take that. Now I put that knowledge in the bank. So if I'm in a scenario like this again, I have a few more options, already ready that I don't have to think through, that I can just utilize to try to make the best of the next opportunity. But yeah, usually it takes about a day before all the emotions kind of like wear out. And then, yeah, I mean, part of professionalism of our sport is that you have to leave that where it is. There's nothing you can do about it now, and then you refocus for the next race. And we always have a next race and a next opportunity. So, yeah, champions, don't stay champions for long. You still, right? Next race or next year, you have that same opportunity. So, yeah, just keep looking ahead. Got to stay positive.
When you're processing through a loss, do you do that by talking to other people? Is there a particular person you talk to, or do you write in a journal? How do you like to do it?
Yeah, a lot of it is just like really just like thinking over and over in my head. I do always write a bit of a race report and some comments in my, training peaks, because that's something that from race to race you can look back. What were the things that I learned in the race in the previous season? When I was a younger athlete, I really did actually write out in a little journal, or have basically a Word document, from especially with the classics, because we come back to those classics every year. So little notes that I could learn about, the course notes or things that how the race played out, and to use that then as yeah, good, I guess, reminders for the next year to look back on. Because I think when that's the, what benefit experience is, you can look back on all these reference points. And then, yeah, I always really trust talking to my coach too, and they give a better perspective on, some of the physiology stuff versus what my feelings will be, based on, RP, or, how it feels, what I was thinking, where I was mentally, or, the moment in the race. And then, pairing that with the coach that can see, from a physiology point of view. So then you can pair those together and maybe create a better story. And also now, like that, most of all our world tour races are video and broadcasted. Then always to go back and look, because you can have a memory of what you think was happening, but when you look back, there can be a disconnect of what you were thinking was happening in the moment and what was actually happening. So being able to look back and get a better, like a broader perspective of the whole race. Yeah, that's kind of the process that I use.
When you look down the road at accomplishments that you would like to achieve, What have you got in that, just in the sporting domain? Let's start there. What have you got in the bucket list? Are we going to see a gravel world championship in 2027? Like, what's coming down the pipe?
Yeah. It's been really exciting. Like since like 2021, I had a great year where I could check off like a ton of things that just would be really meaningful as a sports person in my career. And then this year too, I mean, I've always wanted to win a, 1 day classic. I think those are the hardest races that are on the calendar. And to get like the big one, Paris-Roubaix, there's nothing better than that. So then, yeah, now, thinking of like what's next. But the thing is like, um, once you've won one, it's not just like that's good enough. You just like, you know, you want to, what's on my bucket list for next year to win Paris-Roubaix again? Could I do it, two in a row? Like, you know, how do you become a legend in the sport? Is something that is also like just puts stars in my eyes, But I mean, I always want to be national champion. I really love representing Canada that way. Um, and wearing the Maple Leaf jersey all year. I think it's so special. So that's a big goal for this year, but really every year of my career, that's what I that's the race that I want to win. Um, and as a Canadian, our sport culture is not so steeped in cycling. So when I tell people I'm a professional cyclist, a lot of times they ask either like, oh, like, so you go to the Olympics or you race the Tour de France. And now we have those two. I mean, we have those two opportunities to make something happen. And so I really would love to win a stage at the Tour. And I want to, yeah, be Olympic champion. And that's a a goal that you can only accomplish or have the opportunity to accomplish every 4 years. So it's a pretty rare thing to be at top form for something like that. But also 2026 World Championships are going to be in Canada in Montreal, which would be you know to be world champion, but in your home nation. That is also something that would be super special. But yeah. But I'll take being world champion in any country at any year. So we're not just going to save it for then, but and yeah, I really want to win Flanders. I mean, Paris-Roubaix is one of these super well-known races, and the type of rider that wins is, resilient and tough, and has to beat all the odds to get there. And Flanders is also just a race that has such a long history, and it's such a hard race. And it's such an important race for our sport of cycling. I really would love to win that one.
With the Olympics, with Flanders, with some of the other goals that you shared, do you feel like you need to evolve anything about yourself as a rider, or do you need to improve in any areas?
Yeah, I think, well, for Flanders, it's becoming a little bit more of a climber type of rider that makes it rather than a traditional classic, or in it's been quite a few years since it's come down to kind of a bunch sprint, really since 2017 when Corinne Rivera won. Her teammate pulled it all the way back to have this bunch sprint, and we don't see that so much now. So I think that would, yeah, trying to evolve a little bit more into a climber type, or specifically target that race in that way. Um, and then, yeah, for any kind of Olympic course, it's really interesting because the course will be different for every time. So really trying to figure out, yeah, what would you need to do well there. And also, can I help build a team that will support that too? Because in our professional cycling, we're teams that understand how team work works, and that some races we have, this person as a leader, and other races it's going to change. And so a lot of times you always get an opportunity, but uh, you can dig deep for a teammate in one race because you know maybe your opportunity is coming later. But for things like world championships and the Olympics, when you come with a national team where you haven't ridden with each other all year, and you know it's a kind of unique one-off race, how do you really rally the troops under a common goal? So I think yeah, I've worked a little bit with the national team or with the other Canadian girls for world championships that were in Australia and Wollongong last year to try to kind of raise support together and try to do some pre-planning before that we could all, you know, really be on board for the same goal and the same plan that we just want a Canadian winner. So I think there for the Olympics and for world championships, I think that's something that's really important is how do you rally the troops together for a common goal? And you know, not only that, but also skill development together. We don't get a ride together every year like you do on your professional team. So if you can, you know, do things that really build up the teamwork in our sport, that's going to make a big difference for if you're going to be able to take the win. Yeah, and then also, yeah, I guess yeah, mostly it would just be like looking at the course and you know for example, this year in Glasgow, it's likely like a course that would generally suit me. And then, you know, it's just can I have that sprint power at the end to come off with a good result? Yeah.
To move in a different direction, you have a massive social media presence. Your TikTok videos are pretty famous. When you were a kid, were you into storytelling and did you enjoy getting attention?
Oh, totally. I've always been the entertainer. So, yeah, as a kid, even going to other people's birthday parties, I was always the one trying to make everyone have a good time or get people to laugh. You know, the class clown in school, just love, yeah, absolutely love getting people to laugh or being a little bit part of the drama. Um, and also, yeah, when I was a kid, I loved the storytelling and I loved making videos too. I remember asking for a little camcorder for Christmas one year and then trying to rope in my brother and sister to be in these little videos I would want to make. Or like, I remember even like for school projects, I remember one time I made might have been in like eighth grade, making a video with the Barbies that we had or something. Just like little so stupid. Like it might have been like even like a science video. I don't know what it was, but just like yeah, I really love sort of creative storytelling and things that are funny. Um, yeah, and then actually even in university, they had this contest. The university with a couple other universities were creating their own you know, platform for inter-university kind of it's like a Facebook or whatever, but um, and they had this contest that you could win like you know $2,500 or something if you like different social media posting or if you posted videos you get more points or things like this. So I was making all these silly videos with like hula skirt and a hot sauce and um, yeah, even like doing things out on the street with like interacting with, you know, yeah, people on the street making videos and stuff. So yeah, I really do just like um, love making videos and storytelling and having a good laugh about it.
When you think back on university in that period of time when you were making that set of videos, were there any other things like on TV, on social media that inspired you?
I mean, it's sometimes it's hard to tell where your inspiration comes from, you know, because I mean, we do have, or I'm bombarded with different like, you know, videos and other things, but I think also just like I do just have this creative spirit about me, or something might just like hit me in a different way that makes it funny, and then I build out the story in my mind, and then just want to try to portray it in a video. And yeah, sometimes I don't know like where those ideas come from. What was fun like with TikTok basically as a platform, a lot of times you like take someone makes a video and you copycat it, but you know maybe put your own thing on it. And for a
Yeah.
while when I first started, I just loved doing that, but then making it like with my brain, with my lens of a cyclist, then I would apply that to, someone else's videos, but turn it into the cycling video that then I think would just be funny. And that was like my take on the concept, I guess. Yeah, so I mean, really, inspiration can come from anywhere, like a funny conversation with someone, or like, uh, you know, a play on words that you can just like take and then build it out to be crossing the line, So yeah.
When you think about the videos that you're making now, is there at this point, is there a formula or are there specific elements that you're like, yeah, I have to have X, Y, and Z for this thing to do what I want it to do or to make people feel the way I want them to feel?
You know, what? Also when I started posting like my videos on Instagram and on social media, it's really because I was making the videos for me and I thought they were so funny. And then I just thought, oh, if they're so funny to me, I wonder if other people would laugh too. Instead of posting them, and then I loved interacting with fans and people just being like, commenting that this was the funniest thing that they saw all day, or like why they thought it was funny, or so. I mean, I just love sharing my joy, or then and sharing that laughter with people, friends and family, and fans as well. So then now it's interesting because I mean, I could get really into the metrics of like, oh, what hits well and what doesn't. But honestly, sometimes I have no idea. I remember I don't even my first like viral, like real most popular video with my crash dance in Tour Scandinavia last year. I remember posting and thinking, oh, it's probably an average video, but then it has like more than 1 million views or whatever. So sometimes it's like, yeah, what really hits well, I don't know, but the I enjoy making the making of the video and then posting it and seeing people's reactions. And some that I think are just like the best videos. Sometimes like the public, it just doesn't hit well, and that's fine because like I just like really enjoy producing and making the videos. But it was funny after my Paris-Roubaix win, I knew that the fans would want a video with The Rock, but they would want a video with some dancing. And then I also wanted to be funny in some way, that it would be, like something a little bit clever and a little bit funny. And so then that was like kind of the first time I thought, oh, I feel like a little bit of pressure like this, with all these new followers and people, I really got to like make this one a good one. And you know, then I think I did. I think the I Wanna Rock video was just like perfect. A little bit of dance, had the rock, and then it also had this funny play on words that I really appreciated.
Part of what I found to be interesting about that video, I don't know if this was a conscious connection for you, but for me, the Paris-Roubaix podium ceremony this year, because it had the shooting flames
Yeah,
and it had like a real glam rock kind of feel to it. It reminded
totally.
me of like, I was like, this is like a Def Leppard concert, you know?
Yeah,
It's like this
totally.
is Pour Some Sugar on Me at a bike race. I'd never seen anything like it before. So that was I thought that was really fun. I mean, you mentioned in the context of going for an Olympic title or going for a world title that you have to work to develop some team spirit and do some skill development together with the riders from Canada that you're going to be racing with. And on the storytelling side, I'm curious, like, do you have a protege? Are people coming to you? Are they like, hey, can you kind of take me under your wing and just show me the ropes of, how to really get things cooking as a TikTok star?
I have not had that, which I think is also fun. Which, well, it makes me like, I guess, very unique in the space that I'm doing. Cycling silly videos with. But I do have people wanting to come and make videos with me or be in my videos. And, or, some people, I had a teammate, at our first camp just, you know, kind of quietly asked me, like, what would it take to be in one of your videos? And I was like, oh, like, if you got dance moves, we can put that in. Also, if you don't got dance moves, I got lots of other ideas of how to make a video that you can be in my video. When I was in Panama, actually, I raced Pan Am Champs this year, and there's these two or three girls from Costa Rica that came up and said, to me like after the race that oh they're big fans, and we took a photo together, and they're like, oh, and we filmed a TikTok today, and I was like, show me. So they show me, and I'm watching it. I just like tell them to put it on a loop so that I can learn it, and then I was like, let's film it right now. And so then we filmed it, and then like for that, what I love is like, one, I'm giving them a story to tell their friends, and like I love stories, and if I can give someone a great story that they're just have a story to tell other people, I think it's awesome. But also that they were filming a TikTok and wanted to show me, but then I was like, let's make it even better, like I'm going to be in it, and we did this, and we filmed this TikTok just right then. And so I have that more often, that people like maybe come and ask to be in a TikTok. I have one teammate right now, a young Canadian, Magdalene, who she also like she's a much quieter, reserved person than me, but she likes to make videos. Um, and I think it's like she'll have a lot of ideas, but I'm the person that will actually do something about it. So what I love is like when you can have another creative person that you can talk through some ideas, or you can like build off of each other. So she's been a main character in a lot of my films this year from Team Camp. Also, my teammate Zoe Baxted, who just has a very loud personality too, and a lot of energy. And so when I pitch an idea, they're like willing to be in something that's silly. I think sometimes my older teammates are take themselves too seriously, maybe, to take the time to do something silly, or something that's like a bit awkward to start with, or something like that. But yeah, I haven't had anyone really approach me about being a protege or taking over. I have seen some other cyclists take up doing some fun videos and stuff, and I think yeah, that's awesome.
Well, within the world of pro cycling, is there anyone else who's a TikToker that you're like, yeah, you've got a pretty strong game?
Um, yes. There's
Going to the phone. Going to
yeah.
the phone. We're about to stay tuned.
I'm just gotta make sure I'm saying the right name. Rick Zabel.
Rick
Do you know
Zabel?
Rick Zabel? He has
Yeah.
some pretty funny videos that he's come out with. And for a while there, he was filming like a little video every day, but sometimes he pulls out like a good joke here and there that I appreciate. Um, um, but there's not, then there's more like, there's a lot of like cycling influencers that then their job is just to make content. And then they make some really good, funny videos that I love, but they're not trying to blend professional racing with content creation. They're just all in on the content creation. So, yeah, I mean, I love the stuff that they have time to create. And then I also like Nathan Haas. He's retired now. Well, he's a gravel racer, maybe we could say. Um, but he's really fun too. He was in a dance video of mine. I think in 2020 or 2021, and we made this sort of Girona tourism dance video. And he's a creative guy and has a great spirit. So hopefully we'll do another collab video another time. But um, yeah, I guess like not quite someone just like me.
Are there any other celebrities outside of the world of pro cycling or in other domains of pro sport that you're looking to collaborate with?
Oh man, that's the thing. I actually like. I love collaborating with brands and sponsors or other people, because it just gives me like another leverage point to think creatively, or another thing to like, I have all my brands and sponsors that, I get ideas from. But then when you can work with someone else, it's just like another outlet of like, oh, what's a new like creative sort of space. And there's tons of dance choreographers and just like true, yeah, TikTok um, dance content creators that I would love to work with. So my favorite, there's this Costin Mayer is what their hashtag is, but I've learned a ton of their dances and stuff too, because I just think that they're so fun. And so I would love it if I could yeah, meet up with some like of these choreographers and stuff, and be in some storytelling dance videos.
The longer you do this, are you finding that you're able to get your dance moves dialed in faster?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, even with the girls from Costa Rica when they were showing me the video, and I could just watch it, 3 times, and then I was like, all right, I got it. Um, I think that is like um, I can learn things pretty quickly, and of course, the more that you do it, then the better you get. But it's also like, yeah, once you kind of learn a dance move, sometimes it shows up over and over, or something's just a little bit different, or maybe you stylize it a little different. So like once you kind of got the basics of the things, then yeah, it's like easier to learn. And then yeah, the thing is like when choreography or when dance stuff gets hard is when it's like really fast. So that's like where the advanced go. I'm going to be like a beginner intermediate until I can like maybe spend as much training time on the dance moves as I do on the bike.
And are you editing everything yourself? Like, what's your process like?
Yeah, totally just me and my phone, really, and a free app. Or maybe I pay for the app, but yeah, it's a like what was really fun about coming onto this team, EF Tibco SBB, is like they have a great media and marketing team, and what I love is like I think I've got a lot of good content ideas, but sometimes the actual filming of it is low quality or medium quality, but the storytelling is there, so then that's like the meat of the video, and it still can hit well even if the quality is not so great. But what I love is working with maybe some of these brands that just have like, yeah, the editing team, the cameras, the fog machine, the lights, and then we can create something that is really creative and also just like very smooth and just looks really good. um, yeah, I think that's probably like um, if I could dedicate more time or resources to some of the like quality stuff of my videos, I think that would really amplify it, or like have, other people help me, yeah, with the production stuff, then oh man, I have so many more ideas of things that what we could do with that. Um, but otherwise, yeah, it's just me on my own. I'll be sitting in my bed on my phone just laughing at myself forever while I'm listening to the same 15 seconds of song over and over while I'm editing.
So what are some of these ideas? Now I feel like I've got to hear them. What are some of the big ideas that you have that you want to execute in this space?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have some, like almost like a video storytelling idea, but then it becomes really like almost cartoonish, or where things get like really silly. But then you would need like some of the extra resources, or like drone shots, or like some other like video angle tricks, or like I say, like if maybe it's like a dance video, but like in really interesting other spaces, or with like yeah, other influencers, or like big name people that can make it, cameos of people that can be fun. But also I have some ideas for like longer storytelling, so not just these like 30-second TikTok videos, but actually either like a documentary storytelling, or um well, I can't spill all my ideas here, so
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, totally.
but yeah, so but the production quality of like some like a bigger project to take on, like a adventure ride, or like I say, you can tell the same story over and over, but in a different way, with these different lenses. And I have a couple ideas even about Paris-Roubaix, that how we can tell the story, but it's not about me, but it's that same story, but it's through a different lens. So I have a few, yeah, ideas like that.
It's about a mouse that rides a motorcycle.
How'd you know?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to out your idea, but I have to feel like, yeah. Well, I think in the last couple of days, it's come out that Ben Stiller is a big Geraint Thomas fan and has been commenting on his Twitter posts, which Geraint Thomas was ignoring, and then I think is finally acknowledged. So, I mean, who knows? I feel like if Ben Stiller is a Geraint Thomas fan, he has to be watching your TikToks. So the door could be open to Hollywood pretty soon.
Right. Okay. Good. Yeah. I'll just keep an eye out on the comments.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So at this point, you've got an awful lot going on between what you're doing as a storyteller, what you're doing as a pro athlete. Have you even thought about, hey, what am I going to be doing in 10 years? Do you have goals or ambitions for where you want to go down the road?
Yeah, I think like with this lifestyle, like as a pro cyclist, it's I guess like a volatile market, basically. You could be at your top of the game one year and then crash out and never race again. Um, Maybe not so extreme, but sometimes it's that extreme. And so I think I really just have to I take my career kind of like holding it in my hands where my hands are open and things can fall through the fingers. Like you can't hold on to it so tightly, because, how do you really plan and make your own future? It's, you have to be really open to and adaptable. So I love what I do. I love racing my bike. I love training. I love the travel. I love the new experiences. I love creating the videos and making people laugh. And so I always said like I would do it as long as like I still love it, as long as I still love the chaos. Because I think when you get older, sometimes that chaos and the risk factor is kind of what slows you down or maybe takes you out. But if I can still be a difference maker to my team, so whether that's me being the winner or me being the person who makes a difference for a teammate to win, then I want to stay in the sport. But I mean, I really do love this storytelling in the video. I love using my personality to entertain. I'm dabbling in a few things of like whether it goes kind of like in the entertainment space of like TV presenting or maybe some more entertainment stuff that way, or maybe in the video space, or film production or something in that space, or maybe it's more in like the cycling tourism where you can take people to go see all these amazing and wonderful places. And also, I think sport is so valuable for everyone. When you find out what you thought was not possible is possible. And I think through sport, you get to challenge yourself and you go in a safe way beyond what you thought you could ever do. And then I think you take that self-efficacy or that confidence and you can take that into other, spaces and areas of your life. So yeah, to help, people push the boundaries of what they believe is possible for themselves, I would love, but also, I mean, I love the bike and where the bike has taken me to see new places and meet new people and discover new cultures. And, you get these new reference points and then you really have to, what you've thought was, the true for so long, you got to take all these other worldviews and spaces and challenge kind of what you thought and you see. And I think you just grow and mature and just become a better human that way. And then I also love like a great dance party. So if we can, pair some bike riding tourism with a great dance party, and some really good wine and new foods and places, like that's really cool too. So, I mean, I have a lot of interest in a lot of areas. So I think, I'm just going to keep saying yes to opportunities as they come along and, exploring some of these other spaces.
Awesome. Well, Alison, thanks so much for being here today. Thanks for everything that you shared. And I couldn't agree with you more. I love the idea of inspiring people to reach beyond what they believe might be possible, which is the whole point of this podcast. So I'm grateful to you for taking time to do this and for sharing your story today. Thank you. Thanks for listening. Find Alison Jackson on social. You can find those links in the show notes. I make this podcast free to encourage more people to have fun doing hard things. Before you go do something hard, because that is a fun thing to do, please take a moment to rate this show 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Leave a positive review and share this episode with someone you care about. Choose the Hard Way is a Big Truck production. Anthony Palmer at Palm Tree Podco is the producer and editor, and Emily Miles is the head of digital and marketing. Jeffrey Nebellini is the world-renowned designer behind our brand identity and the Choose the Hard Way logo. The content for this show is created by me, Andrew Vance. If you'd like to suggest a guest or be in touch, you can email me at choosethehardway@gmail.com or reach out on social @hardwaypod. Thanks for listening.